Jesse Palmer faced dangerous conditions while filming Bachelor in Paradise, July 3, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bachelor Nation News fans. Jesse Palmer, Hannah Brown, and Wells Adams revealed on social media last month that they were filming the upcoming season of Bachelor in Paradise. Hannah Brown joined BIP for season 10 in a special advisor/bartender role that's different from the role Wells Adams has had since season 4. The new season premieres on Monday, July 7th, with a mixed cast. The seniors from The Golden Bachelor and Golden Bachelorette join the younger cast from the flagship shows on the beach. But it isn't the beach that's familiar to viewers. Season 10 was filmed in Costa Rica after years of filming in Mexico, but with new territory comes new dangers. Bachelor Nation host Jesse Palmer opened up about the dangerous conditions he faced while filming Season 10. Wells Adams reveals what BIP stole from Love Island. Bachelor Nation fans have noticed something different about the teaser trailers ABC has released of the upcoming Bachelor in Paradise season. Several fans compared the editing, vibe, and overall look to that of Love Island USA. Well, fans of the show were right. Wells Adams recently spoke to US Weekly about one of the changes to the upcoming season. He revealed that Season 10 was filmed with new cameras after years of using the same ones. Having these new cameras and seeing how sharp and how slick it looks, it's like I'm watching a movie, Wells Adams said about the new look on Bachelor in Paradise. He jokingly added, "Love Island stole our idea, so I'm so sorry that we stole your cameras. You stole the IP, we just stole the technology to make it look like that." Jesse Palmer faced dangerous conditions while filming Season 10. The cast and the drama have always been the main attraction of Bachelor in Paradise, but the wildlife and environment were part of what made the show iconic. The rooms and the beach were constantly overrun by crabs, not to mention the overbearing heat. Reportedly, one of the reasons why the show moved from Mexico to Costa Rica was that the new resort has air-conditioned rooms for the contestants to stay in. But according to Jesse Palmer, Costa Rica has lurking dangers too. He was a guest on Live with Kelly and Mark this week to promote the upcoming season. He gushed over the experience in Costa Rica. The Bachelor Nation host was astounded by the wildlife in Costa Rica, including monkeys and iguanas. However, there were a few things he wasn't warned about. He revealed that he found himself in a dangerous situation while taking promo photos for ABC. Jesse Palmer revealed that some types of trees in Costa Rica are poisonous, and he leaned against one of them during the photo shoot without knowing the dangers. He also told Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos that he had fire ants all over him while filming one of the video promos. Despite the dangerous trees and painful fire ants, it sounded like Jesse Palmer had a great time filming in Costa Rica. He said that fans of the show don't want to miss this season, especially with the possibility of a hookup between a golden contestant and one of the younger ones. Stay on the lookout for some of the wildlife in Costa Rica while watching the new
in
BIP
Paradise.
season.
Jesse Palmer's harrowing ordeal while filming Bachelor in Paradise. When viewers tune in to Bachelor in Paradise, they expect love triangles, drama in the sand, and roses delivered with a grin. What they don't expect is for the host, Jesse Palmer, to become the one battling for survival. But during a recent shoot in Sayulita, Mexico, Jesse faced what insiders are calling the most dangerous conditions in franchise history. The host, known for his poise, found himself at the center of a terrifying and unexpected disaster that unfolded like a real-life survival series. This isn't just another Bachelor Nation headline. It's a story of resilience, heroism, and the dark underbelly of filming Paradise TV. Trouble in Paradise. Production for the latest season of Bachelor in Paradise kicked off with its usual buzz. Cameras were rolling, contestants were mingling under tiki torches, and Jesse Palmer had slipped effortlessly into his role as the suave and composed host. But something was off from the moment they touched down. Storm season started early this year, a crew member later revealed. There were red flags, literally, on the beaches. We were told it would pass. It didn't. By day 3 of filming, Sayulita's usual calm had shifted. Winds howled through the palm trees at night, the ocean surged higher with each tide, and power flickered across the beach resort. Still, the producers pushed forward. The show must go on. A forecast they ignored. It was his 6th season hosting Bachelor in Paradise, and he was no stranger to tropical climates. But the tension in the air wasn't just romantic this time, it was environmental. Local meteorologists had issued a warning about a tropical depression brewing off the Pacific coast. It might not hit, Jesse was told during a producer meeting. We'll be fine. We've got medics, a shelter plan, and backup generators. But Jesse wasn't so sure. A former professional athlete and seasoned broadcaster, he trusted his instincts, and they were screaming that something wasn't right. I've covered games in hurricanes, he later admitted, and this felt worse. When nature strikes. On the 5th night of filming, the sky turned an ominous shade of black. Contestants were in the middle of a heated cocktail party when production called an emergency meeting. Jesse had just finished filming an intro when the first warning sirens went off. What followed was chaos. A sudden, violent squall whipped through the resort. Palm trees bent until they snapped. Beach cabanas were lifted into the air and salt water crashed against the set like a freight train. Jesse, still in his signature linen shirt and microphone headset, was directed toward a reinforced shelter behind the production trailers. But as he sprinted across the sand, a flying piece of debris, part of a lighting rig, sliced the air just inches above his head. I didn't even see it. I heard the crew shouting, and the next thing I knew, I was on the ground, face in the sand, covering my head. Inside the emergency shelter, contestants were panicking. Cameras had long stopped rolling, and this wasn't an act. One contestant was reportedly in tears, screaming about not being able to contact her family. Another was clutching a producer's arm, asking if they were going to die. Jesse, dazed but uninjured, took charge. "Let's calm down. We've trained for this," he announced. "Everyone gets water. Sit close to the walls, and for the love of God, don't panic." Even the producers were shocked. Jesse wasn't just hosting anymore. He was leading, one crew member later said. He became the guy we leaned on. But things only got worse. Cut off and in the dark. As the eye of the storm passed over the region, the production camp lost all communication. Satellite phones were down, the generator had flooded, and the local roads were submerged under 3 feet of water. Jesse helped lead efforts to keep everyone calm and accounted for. He worked side by side with the crew, rationing out supplies, using flashlights to check on each contestant, and even comforting a producer who had a panic attack. "The roof was rattling," he recalled. "We didn't know if it would hold. I thought about my wife. I thought about how no amount of reality TV was worth dying for." One man missing. After the initial impact, roll call revealed a horrifying truth. Someone was missing. Alejandro, a beloved local production assistant, hadn't made it into the shelter. Jesse didn't hesitate. With winds still gusting and debris strewn across the sand, he suited up in a rain poncho, tied a scarf around his face, and ventured out with 2 security guards. The search lasted nearly 40 minutes. Cameras were down, and there was no dramatic music, just the sound of pounding surf and shouting voices. Jesse eventually spotted Alejandro crouched behind a collapsed cabana, trapped under a fallen bamboo beam. "Hold on, man, we've got you," Jesse yelled. He lifted the debris with help and wrapped Alejandro in a blanket before hauling him back to safety. The day after. Morning came with eerie silence. The storm had passed, but the paradise was gone. The beach was wrecked, set pieces were scattered across the shoreline, the bar was smashed, and the signature Bachelor in Paradise palapa was buried in sand. Contestants, crew, and medics emerged like survivors from a shipwreck. And at the center of it all, Jesse Palmer, mud-covered, sleep-deprived, but composed. He didn't speak much that morning. Instead, he helped clear rubble, distributed dry clothes, and offered hugs to those who needed them. "He's the reason we made it through," said a contestant. "It wasn't the show anymore. It was real. And Jesse was the only thing that felt steady." Production suspended. Filming was suspended indefinitely. ABC released a short statement. "Due to unforeseen weather emergencies, production on Bachelor in Paradise has been paused. All cast and crew are safe and being relocated." What they didn't reveal was the internal debate about continuing at all. Insurance claims skyrocketed. Several crew members resigned on the spot. Contestants were traumatized. As for Jesse, he returned to the U.S. and quietly took time off with his wife Emily. No interviews, no red carpets. Until now. Jesse speaks. 3 months later, Jesse Palmer broke his silence in an exclusive interview with Good Morning America. "I faced pressure before, live games, national television, the rose ceremony, but nothing compared to what we experienced that night. I thought I might die." He praised the local crews, security staff, and contestants for holding it together. "They're the real heroes," he insisted. And when asked if he'd ever return to Paradise, "I don't know. I love the show, but after something like that, it changes you. You see the limits of the fantasy. You realize nature doesn't care about romance or ratings." What really matters? The storm changed more than just the scenery. It changed the Bachelor in Paradise franchise. Jesse began pushing for better safety protocols, including emergency shelters for each production zone, mandatory satellite communications, and mental health support for all cast and crew. "I don't want another near-death experience to be what finally gets us to act," he said. Fans have since rallied behind him, calling for Emmy consideration and praising his heroism across social media. "Jesse Palmer saved the show," read a viral tweet, "not just as a host, but as a human being." A new kind of rose. Production eventually resumed in a new, safer location months later. The palapa was rebuilt, the cameras turned back on. Contestants came back, new and old, chasing romance again. And at the center of it all, Jesse Palmer. But this time, the rose he held wasn't just for love, but for resilience, survival, and the strength it takes to lead when paradise turns to peril.